Well, good evening. Welcome to Westhead Wesleyan's Fisherman's Service, Fisherwoman's Service 2020. And it's such a privilege to have each of you here tonight. We're going to turn the lights down so you can see what's going on stage here. I trust that tonight you'll have a chance to laugh. You'll have a chance to have something that you can hook your anchor into. Today is the first day of Lent. And the hope, not Lent, we'll try it, Advent. I'll get the right season. I can blame it on COVID. Tonight is as we gather here tonight on this first day of Advent. Advent is about hope. The hope that Christ is coming and that he'll come again. And I trust that as you experience tonight's service, that you'll have a chance to laugh and also to find hope that will carry you through the winter. It's going to be the best winter ever if you place your hope in the right place. Yeah. I trust that you will. But to start out, we're going to welcome the CSI Bells. 3 ladies, and if you're not married, you might be looking for a wife before this is over. Ladies, we're all ready.
Come on, Pete. Come on. Woo-wee. Look at the crowd. Man, she wants some good them parts on, don't she? Well, yes. Woo. Paid a lot of money for that. Oh, yeah. Did you get all right side of the boat there, Pete? Oh, my goodness. Where's the skirt? Late as usual. Always late. Never on time. You know why? Because she has to get all the pointers from Harold. Harold's got to tell her what to do, what time to get up, how to pack the lunch. I tell you about Harold. Well, here she comes. I'll tell you. If he wouldn't leave me alone, I could get something done. You don't think the cat can wait? Well, listen, I don't know here. You mean tired, it makes Captain sensitive, you know. Yeah. Sorry, Captain, can't do that. I'm sorry. Never gonna make none of you laying in bed. Here, listen, where does this go? It goes in the boat. Here, in the boat. Did you bring your bait? Yeah, check. Did you bring the lobster claw? Check. I want to get. Let me see. Oh, I think the broken fingernail. Oh, no. Oh, no. Already? Yeah. Did you bring a knife? We can cut it off. I got a knife. Hang on. We can cut her nail off with the knife. Yeah, I got a knife. Oh, my dear, can I get this on? Harold never gave me the right pants. You know what? Harold! Well, what did you wait for Harold to get you dressed? Yeah, why can't you look after yourself first one of these days? Because Harold noodle around, Jack? Oh! What? Okay. Let's see. Make sure you're totally going to work. Here, let's see. Turn around. So we can get you turned out. I don't want you to fall overboard. Yeah. All right. All right. Whew, it's hot. Okay, that's good. Okay. Okay, yeah. All right, you better hope you don't fall overboard. All right. Here, Captain. Off the boat. Oh, not set. Down the car. Big box. Now we gotta go around this way. Apple car. Yeah. Like big box. Top of their apple cart. There you go. Oh, I made a good apple pie for Hera. Did you? Yeah. I bet it was so tasty. Yeah, and I forgot to peel the apples. Oh, no. That was because we know that. And I put it in. Yeah. And he started crunching. And I said, what's wrong, Hera? There you go. He said, I don't know, Gertie. If you're going to make apple pies like that, you don't need to make no more. I don't know. He said it was too crunchy. That's right. Well, it's because I can't see. Well, give me one on. I don't know. I think we should have got a different bander than that team. I don't know. You think I'm going to be okay? Well, I'm a little worried, but that's all right. Okay. Well, they only get paid. She only gets paid. All right. Woo! Thank you, fellas. All right. Let's go. No. No, we don't get on the boat. Oh, right. nice things, everything on. He said, no, he said him so much that he got stopped by the cop, he's gonna get caught for drinking and driving. Come on. Yeah, it's not right. No, not past the 10. No way. Right on in the back. Okay. Or the stern. You're in the stern. I'm in the stern. I'm way in the stern.
You think she's gonna know how to band?
All right, that's my band does you fellas just in case we catch some biggies there.
All right.
Ready for the big catch.
Okay.
All right. Me too.
Well, let's go. Another day and not water.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like I'm more practice this time, fellas.
Oh, shut you see legs today there, girl.
So there's the big old juicy hot stuff.
All right, let it come.
Okay. Where's the lobster? I got the boy.
Okay.
Who's got the boy? Wasn't we supposed to have a hoist or something? I don't care. There's something over there.
I'll go in here.
Oh, what's in there? Look at here. Oh, boy, a great big egg. Oh, Captain Edie, what will we get for this heavy? I'm not worth it. The work off is $10 a pound. Woo! Look at Edie. Look at Edie this on.
He's scared of her.
So we gotta have him protected. Here, I gotta band him.
Yep. All righty.
Let's see. Let me get a bandage.
I hope she knows what she's doing now.
Now, I can't see a thing.
Since you can do with that fake ears, yeah.
Nine.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. We take the band off. Like this. Yeah, looks good. All right.
I wonder what,
We put him on here.
he's gonna have your nose in a minute there,
Oh,
girl.
they won't catch it that way.
I'll catch you that way. We'll catch you that way.
And then you take it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you squeeze really hard. And then, oh, no, that's it.
Oh,
What do you want me all day? There we go. Yay! I think she's gonna get a walking ticket.
Yeah, I think so too. You're gonna be
Let's
fine.
put it-
Gentle, gentle.
Sorry, Lobster.
Oh my goodness, I'm saying today.
Okay, now.
Well, that was a good catch, girls. Yes.
Yes, I gotta say,
See you in the morning.
See you in the morning.
See you,
All right.
Captain Beatty. See you in the morning. See you in the morning.
Just as the worship team's coming back, I can tell you these ladies know a lot about everything, including the COVID virus. They told me I could depend on this mask. I just thought I'd let you know if there's anything you need to know about fishing or about COVID virus, they know. The worship team is going to lead us in a song, and then if we can put the screen down.
We're going to join us tonight as we sing My Lighthouse to Open. In my wrestling and in my doubts, in my failures, you won't walk out. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are the peace in my troubled sea. In the silence, you won't let go. In the questions, your truth will hold. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are the peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore. I won't fear what tomorrow brings. With each morning I'll rise and sing. My God's love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are the peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storms. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storms. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storms. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storms. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, Psalms 105 says, "For the Lord is good, and his love endures forever. His faithfulness continues through all generations." And we're going to sing a song that's new to us. It's called King of My Heart. And if you know it, please join us. Let the King of my heart be the mountain where I run, the fountain I drink from. Oh, he is my song. Let the King, let the King of my heart be the wind inside my sails, the anchor in the waves. Oh, he is my song. Let the King of my heart be the fire inside my veins, echo of my days. Oh, he is my song. You are good, good. Oh, 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 you're never gonna let me down. 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 You are good, good. Oh, 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 let the King of my heart be the mountain where I run, the fountain I drink from. Oh, he is my song. Let the King of my heart be the shadow where I hide, the ransom for my life. Oh, he is my song. Now we're going to have a video.
Well, good day, folks. I'm Pastor Vince, and I'm here with Vernon, a mini tour. But now I'd like you to join me on a tour of his shop. And if you like collecting carvings and things like that, you'll be fascinated with this and want to pay him a visit. And you'll see why as we go along. So, Ducky, it's good to have you join me today for this little tour and give me a little bit of what you do. So one of the things that I asked Ducky as we were going through is how long it would take him to carve an item like this swordfish that he's holding. How long would it take you, Ducky?
It's a hard job to figure it out because I don't start something and finish it. I just work on it a little bit, put it aside, work on it a little bit, so it's pretty hard to tell how long. But this swordfish probably off and on, like
2 days of work, like to carve it and then to paint it.
Probably maybe a little less than 2 days, but it would take me all told probably 2 days.
Wow. I'm just going to zoom in on that. If you want to hold that swordfish right up. Oh my, that's amazing. The detail, you almost think the fish is going to swim away. And then he's got another friend over here behind him, this seagull. Did you name him yet? Did you name your seagull yet?
No.
No, there's a famous seagull. There's a famous seagull in literature called Jonathan.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good name for him. It looks like Either that or you could call him Justin, but I won't say why. But he's a pretty neat little bird. Look at that. And you said he's almost finished except for some oil pants?
Yeah, maybe if you put oil pants on him and the legs, it's got to be painted and touched up a little bit.
Wow. Well, that's quite a bird. You better watch, he might fly away. And then you've got some other ones here on the stand that were you working on these ones when I arrived and interrupted you?
I just finished those today.
Just finished those today. So there's the latest.
Long tails.
They're long tails. Now, are they a type of sea duck?
Yeah, they're a type of sea duck.
Wow.
They go along with the coots and the...
So here's another workbench that Ducky works at, and I've got a few questions for Ducky. I don't think a person learns to carve like this just overnight. I think you've probably done carving for a few years, have you? How long?
45 or 50.
45 or 50 years.
Yeah.
Now, did you always make your living at this, or what did you do to make a living all these years?
Now, I taught school for 25 years, woodworking off the high school. And then when I retired, I started carving for a hobby.
He's done a lot of carvings of a lot of things. There's some pretty detailed carvings here, a little saw-whet owl, like the one that went on a Christmas tree to New York or Boston.
Yeah.
And there's a beautiful woodpecker. I think that one's a downy head.
What is that?
And then he's got another one up here. It's a pileated woodpecker. I think that one's going to fly away. Look at that. I'll try to get some more footage here. Wow. And he's got some ducks here that he's just finished.
Edward, come show her.
I think Bobby Schultz shot those ones. They're hanging upside down here. But for you guys that bait with redfish, there's Ducky's redfish hanging here. I think he's all ready for the lobster trap. Well, this is a cod that Ducky carved, and it looks like it's got a hook in its mouth. It looks like he just pulled it out of the water. Now, Ducky let me come into his inner sanctum, his own private collection of things that he keeps and probably will never sell. This is pretty amazing to see. There's a duck that he carved hanging on the wall, and I think they're a mated pair. Beautiful, beautiful detail. And then over here in the window, an eagle that's just caught a fish and getting ready to take off. And there's the fish in its talons. And now for the special shop. Some of these items, I believe all of them are for sale. And Ducky's brilliant talent is on the shop. Everything from mallards to geese to black ducks to sea ducks.
Every time I face the waves, I don't want to be afraid. I don't want to be afraid. I don't want to fear the storm just because I hear it roar. I don't want to fear the storm. Peace, peace, say be afraid. I'm not gonna fear the storm. You are greater than its roar. I'm not gonna fear the storm. I'm not gonna fear it all. Peace, be still, say the word, and I will set my feet upon the sea till I'm dancing in the deep. Peace, be still, you are here, so it is I don't want to be afraid. I don't want to be afraid. I don't want to fear the storm just because I hear him roar. I don't want to fear the storm. I don't want to fear the storm.
You've just heard read some words that are one of the greatest miracles early in Jesus' ministry. The calming of the storm. Might be quite familiar to you, but what happened next was that Jesus, being a man, was tired. And some of you here have worked hard and prepared for the season, and you're tired. Jesus could identify with that. They didn't have a four-wheel drive to get around. They walked where they went. And trying to get away, he walked way out in the wilderness. And a few people followed. Actually, they counted 5,000 men, plus women and children. There could have been 15, 20,000 people followed him out into the middle of nowhere, wanting to hear his words, needing healing, needing a touch from Jesus. And he met their needs. No one noticed. The entire day went by. They held on his words. They listened. And they heard words that would change their life. But then they were hungry. And the disciples came to Jesus and said, send them home so they can get something to eat. Jesus said, give them something to eat. The disciples looked around, and out of the entire crowd, there was one little boy that had a lunch. 5 loaves and a couple sardines. 2 small fishes. Jesus said, bring them to me. And with that small portion, fed the entire multitude. And when it was done, he asked them to collect what was left over, and there were 12 baskets left over. A pastor once said, oh, that must have been because the disciples didn't believe. He wanted them to see. I think it was because Jesus wanted them to never forget that he not only can calm a storm, but he can provide every need. Some of you might be worried. Turn to Jesus. He can provide needs. But what happened next? Again, this man who was exhausted just had to get away and find some rest. And so he did something to find rest that, again, people here, men and women, can identify with. Because of all the places I've ever lived or visited or seen, this area knows how to unwind. I've watched. You take every opportunity. If you don't have a cottage, you find someone with in the summertime. Unwind a little bit. Relax. And then something happens. It's called the 1st of October, after you've worked hard to prepare your pots and get ready to go fishing. The 1st of October comes and it's gunning season. And I didn't really get it, why it was such a big event. And then one day I was out to Baccaro. And I was there, and I think it was Derek said, do you see that guy down there? And I looked down over the rocks. And there was a guy motionless, waiting for a sea duck to come in. And he waited and waited in the rain and never moved. And whether it's waiting for sea ducks or in a hunting blind, you guys know how to find quiet. Let me challenge you. But before I challenge you, I'd like you to hear what Jesus did and use that as a chance to challenge you to find even better rest. The story picks up here immediately. This is after they gathered up the food. Immediately, Jesus made the disciples get in the boat and go on the other side while he dismissed the crowd. When he had dismissed them, he went up on a mountainside himself to pray. When evening came, he was there alone. But the boat was already a considerable distance from shore, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. During the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went out to them walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. They thought it was a ghost, and they cried out in fear. Jesus immediately said to them, "Do not be afraid. Take courage. It is I." "Lord, if it's you," Peter said, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," Jesus said. Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. When he saw the wind, he was afraid. Beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me!" Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith, why do you doubt?" When they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him and said, "Truly, you are the Son of God." He went alone into the hills to pray. If you remember anything I say tonight, let me challenge you that when you're finding a quiet time, maybe out for a walk someday at the cottage, maybe you're sitting alone down by the rocks waiting for a sea duck, maybe you're in a hunting blind, take those moments and talk to God. Tell him what's in your heart. He wants to hear you. He wants to share with you. Jesus knew that. Not just as the Son of God. He knew that as a man. And the same person who was exhausted, who went into the hills to pray, a short time later walked down off that mountain and walked out across the stormy sea. You guys know a little bit about storms. And even if his feet didn't get wet, even if his clothes weren't wet, why not? He could walk on the water, why not? But even if, it would have been quite a walk out across those waves to where the boat was. A crossing that should have taken a couple hours was now well into the night, and they were nowhere near their destination, perhaps in the middle. You say, it's only the Sea of Galilee, 21 kilometers long, 9 kilometers, 13 kilometers wide. Not very big, not the Atlantic Ocean. What's the problem? Well, the problem is it's in a very deep bowl. Mountains go about 700 meters, very steep either side of that lake, and in all different places, different heights. And during the day, because it's so far below sea level, during the day it gets very hot down at the lake level. At night, it's so high that the air cools off quickly, and the resulting cool air going down the mountain, warm air going up the mountain, creates a vortex that can create a hurricane-force wind in just moments with no warning. They had been on a boat, and those who were fishermen probably had seen those storms before, had survived them. But never as bad as when Jesus calmed the storm. They had seen Jesus feed the multitudes, but now he wasn't with them, and they were in another storm. Now all of a sudden, they see Jesus crossing the lake. And as he crosses the lake, they think it's a ghost. Well, what would you think? If you were a few miles offshore in the middle of a storm and somebody starts walking up to the boat, what would you think? I know what I'd think. I'd think it was time to either get new glasses or get my head examined. But he came to them and said, "Don't be afraid. It's me. It's I." And then Peter did something that makes me scratch my head when I read this. He said, "If it's really you, Jesus, tell me to come. Tell me to step off the boat." I'm thinking, if this is a ghost that's coming to get you, if this is something bad that's coming to get you, do you really want them to tell you whether or not to stay on the boat? Peter, What's wrong with your head? And then I realized that sometimes in my life, I cook up ideas that are wilder and crazier, and I get in worse trouble than Peter ever did stepping off that boat. And I wonder if some of you have been there. Making decisions. Doing things that you think are wise and getting in real trouble from it. But one thing Peter did that he got right, he did walk on the water for a ways, and then, like any normal human being, realized that as good a swimmer as he was, it wasn't going to be good enough in those waves. If he did sink, and he began to sink when he doubted and was afraid. And sometimes, as much as we can trust God to help us and be with us, we can have a fear of sinking. But if we put our trust truly in God, he is with us. But then be like Peter. If you do start to sink, ask for help. Reach out to Jesus. He cares. He really does. All that we're going through this year, he cares. Imagine the fear and anxiety and all that they were going through that night in the storm. Jesus cared. And as he reached down and helped Peter up, Peter walked on the water again. And then they had the brightest idea of all. They said, come on, get in the boat. Another translation says they invited them into the boat. Another of the Gospels. As they invited him into the boat, the storm ended immediately. My question is, do you invite Jesus into your boat? I mean, do you invite Jesus into your life? Do you ask him for help? There's only one deal. If you ask him into your boat, he doesn't come in as a passenger. He'll only join as captain. He wants to be your captain, the captain of your life, to help you become everything that he dreams you to be. I'd like you to think about that. Because as soon as they invited Jesus into the boat, the storm calmed down. It says they got to their destination with no further trouble. I can guarantee you that if you invite Jesus into your boat, you'll never regret it. He'll be the captain, a good captain, and you'll weather any storm. In fact, like Peter, you can walk on water. You can walk on the storm. Because Jesus is able to do that. As the Son of God, he can transform your life and take you through things that you would never believe possible. I'm going to invite the worship team back to sing another song. And then we're going to pray in closing, or am I backwards? Yeah. So sing a song and then. Thank you.
This next song we're going to sing is called God of this City. It says, you're the God of the city, you're the King of these people, you're the Lord of this nation. And it doesn't matter who is our Prime Minister or who the President of the United States is. He is still in control and he is still the God of our city. But the song doesn't end there. The chorus then says, greater things are yet to come, greater things are still to be done in this city, and that is our call for us. Join us as we prepare for prayer and enjoy the pictures. You're the God of this city, you're the King of these people, you're the Lord of this nation. You are the light in this darkness. You're the hope to the hopeless. You're the peace to the restless. You are. There is no one like our God. There is no one like our God. Greater things have yet to come. Greater things are still to be done in this city. Greater things have yet to come. Greater things are still to be done in this city. Greater things have yet to come. Greater things are still to be done here. You're the God of this city. You're the King of these people. You're the Lord of this nation. You are. You're the light in this darkness. You're the hope to the hopeless. You're the peace to the restless. You are. There is no one like our God. There is no one like our God. Greater things are yet to come, and greater things are still to be done in this city. Greater things are yet to come. Greater things are still to be done in this city. Greater things are yet to come. Greater things are still to be done here. You're the God of this city. You're the King of these people. You're the Lord of this nation. You are.
I'm not sure what storms you face in your life, or you will face this winter. Some of them will be real, I'm sure. Some of them may involve these masks that we're wearing. It's just to keep each other safe. Not a big deal. Some of them may involve personal things. Some of them may involve the dispute that's going on. But know this church has been praying for you. We called a day of prayer this week, and I'm not saying this to brag anyone up, but only to honor God and to honor you and for you to know. We spent the entire day here praying for all of those things. But I'd like to take an opportunity tonight. Thank you for coming. We're just about finished. We're going to sing one more song after we pray. But Karen, could you come up with me? Karen is my... no, we can leave the lights off. How's that? You don't even have to... People, I can't even see who's standing, but I see some people standing. Some of you I know well enough that I can see. And now I'm going to ask the rest of you who haven't stood up to please stand with them to show that we will support them. We've been supporting. We will support you. A peaceful storm.